Okay. This thing is irritating. Okay. There we go. So I'm busy making the schedule by practicing and stuff. And I'm just like freaking out. I get really anxious when there is a requirement of me or an expectation of me to perform. Because when there's expectation of me to perform, then I feel as though I've got to be perfect at performing, and that is an impossible expectation to meet. And so I freak out, and I think that's a great deal of my anxiety and where it stems from. Obviously, the perfectionism, which I've made millions of these videos about, but that's just me right now, you know. And I'm like, because I'm like, okay, I'm just setting up a schedule, and I'm like anxious. And I know there's an expectation of me to perform, and not even perform as in perform on a stage, but perform as in pitch up every day, show up. There's an expectation of me to show up, and there's a gap in my mental understanding and in my nervous system. I want to say that because it's a fact that I know, but it's not something that I think. If you know what I mean. So I know that just because I've got to perform, it doesn't mean I've got to be perfect. You know, we always speak about these things, but it's not something that I know yet. You know what I mean? It's not something that's like completely drenched in me, you know? And so I know that that's definitely a struggle for me. Just because I'm required, or there's an expectation or requirement to show up, does not mean I've got to perform perfectly. And, you know, the anxiety is there, and I'm like, oh, and it's irritating because then that leads to procrastination because you don't want to feel that anxiety, and yet you also don't want to not do what you want to do. You know what I mean? And so I'm caught here in this right now, but I'm just realizing this as I'm making the schedule. The anxiety is like huge, and I'm like, do I just take it by making the schedule like the 2 days in a row, two days ahead, or what? Anyway, that's my struggle right now. Okay, load shedding for the win.